Today I'm going to be doing something a little different on my channel. I'm going to be talking about two really hyped books on BookTube and telling you if they're worth the reading. So this is not my original idea. I actually got inspired to do it by watching a video from Scooples Reads. She did Is It Worth It video for The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I think another book that I can't remember, but I will put that video down below. That inspired me to do this video. Today I'm going to be talking about Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi and To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. So we'll start off with the book Children of Blood and Bone. So I actually received a copy on NetGalley in return for an honest review, so I did read this book before it came out. But I picked up a copy so that I can kind of already tell you what I think about this book. But this book has been really hyped on YouTube. A lot of people have talked about it and a lot of people are reading it. It just came out, I believe, on March 6th. So essentially this book follows a young girl who has the potential to have magic abilities because she was gifted by the gods. But magic for some reason has disappeared from her land, and this cruel king kind of keeps all the people that are capable of doing magic down. He killed all the people that were capable of doing magic and then keeps the younger generation as a lower class so that they don't ever try to revolt. So the plot of this story is basically that there is a chance to bring magic back into the world, and the main character Zeely is trying to go on this adventure to bring back magic. And also the setting of this book takes place in like a West African kind of inspired fantasy world, which was really interesting. And ultimately the premise sounds really amazing, so I can see why this book is really hyped on YouTube, and I have to say that it's definitely worth the hype. This book was amazing. I really enjoyed reading it. I really enjoyed all the main characters. I think that Tomi does a really good job of bringing a lot of like conflict into her stories and really making you think, have an idea of what's going to happen, but then totally flipping that upside down. There was a lot of interesting plot twists in this story that I really enjoyed, and I honestly did not know what the outcome of the book was going to be. And I think a lot of times in YA there's the issue that there's not a lot at stake for the main characters, and you're kind of just like, they're going through these like different things, but you know that they're gonna come out unscathed because they're the main character or they're important to the plot. But in this story, you're really not sure what's gonna happen to our main characters, and they get hurt, and there's a lot at stake in this story, which I really enjoyed. I think Tomi does a really good job of showing the brutality of what's going on and the inequality that is happening in this world in a way that just makes it makes you feel for all of the characters, even the characters you're really not supposed to like. I think she does a lot of like background into the king's story, because there is a reason why he does not like the people with the magical abilities, and then you have his son who's the prince, who's kind of battling between wanting to fight for the equality of these magical people and also wanting to be the person that his father wants him to be. So there's a lot of internal conflict there. There's also a lot of internal conflict with Zeely, the main character. She's dealing with whether or not to bring back magic. What could that mean for the world? What could that mean for her people? And ultimately, this book was really amazing. I absolutely loved it. I think the setting is really cool. This is like one of the first books that I kind of seen myself in the story. I love that all of the people in this book are people of color, and it just makes me happy that something like this is being published and that West African cultures are being kind of talked about. I mean, it's heavily influenced on West African cultures, but it's not like taking place in those settings, obviously. But I love that that's being instilled in this story, and it just gives it a unique flair that I really enjoyed with this setting of this book. So yeah, I think also a big part of this book is also the romances. I would say there are two like main romances in this book, and the romance with the main character is a hate to love romances, which is one of my favorite types of romances, even though I'm not really into them as much. But I thought that while it was done pretty well, I think the hate to love transition was a little quick, so it was kind of hard for me to get on board with the relationship, because I was like, I don't know if she would feel this passionately about this person just because of what was going on in the story and what this person had done to her. But I think that overall this book was really great. I loved all of the different like cities they went to and all the adventures that happened in this book, and just all the characters were just so rich and amazing. And yeah, if you don't already know, I'm definitely super into this book, and I'm glad I picked up this copy. I picked up the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so it has this beautiful cover. The end pages are really beautiful too. It has the map, and there's also like another little map inside too. And it's beautiful, and even like the naked cover is just so pretty. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking this book out. It is definitely worth the hype. The plot is good, the characters are good, the setting is really amazing, and even the writing is just beautiful. So overall, this is definitely a 5 out of 5 read for me, and it'll probably be on my top books of 2018. So the next book I also received on NetGalley, and I don't have a physical copy of it, but I might be getting one. It is called To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. So this book is basically a mermaid fairy tale retelling with a little darker twist. So the Little Mermaid is actually a siren in this story, and Queen Ursula is actually her mother. So it basically follows the same kind of plot line. The siren turns into a human, and then she meets a prince, and yada yada yada. So I really enjoyed the darker twist, but I think the author could have pushed it a little bit more. I liked that our main character, Lyra, who is the siren, was kind of on the vicious side, but she also had she was definitely less evil than like her mother was. There was also a lot of internal conflict for the main character because she's battling with what her mother wants as well as what she believes is right. So that was interesting. I think what really stood out about this book was how immense the world building was. We don't get to see a lot of the world, but what we do get from the characters and where they came from, and also just the way the characters talk about this world, is that there are like over 100 kingdoms in this world. We get to see probably 2 or 3 of the entire kingdoms, but what we do see is really fleshed out and beautiful. And I think that I would love to see if she's gonna make more stories in this world, but not necessarily following the main characters of To Kill a Kingdom. So I think that this could be a really interesting like series of books that follow the same world but also kind of talk about other retellings in a more darker way. I also really liked this romance in this book. There was also a hate to love romance, and the sarcastic banter between the two characters was really interesting and entertaining, and I loved that. That's something that I just enjoy in a book, and I loved how like funny they were together. I thought their dynamic was really cute, and I think that the romance happened in a good progression. Like it was slow in a way, but also it didn't feel like we were rushing towards it. And even though this is a standalone book, so you would think that the romance would happen a lot quicker so that we could get more of that like juicy romance in the book, but the crux of the romance happened towards the end of the book. And I think that Alexandra Christo did a really good job of like slowly progressing us to hate and then to love, which I really liked. I think the ending though kind of happened pretty quickly. It felt a little rushed, and I could see this honestly being like a duology of sorts. So the book is really short, so I would have liked to see her expand on the story a little bit, because while like I talked about how the setting on land was really amazing, like the kingdoms and all of that, and each kingdom had like different cultures and everything, but the setting of the underwater kingdom or queendom was not really described at all. There is about like maybe 5 or 6 chapters where we follow Lyra before she becomes a human and she's a siren, and those chapters just feel weird. They're kind of like just floating in the ocean, and the setting is not really captured in any way. There was a scene where they were in the kingdom, but nothing was really described very well, and I kind of thought that was a missed opportunity. Like, because we're seeing the world from the prince's side, who lives on land, and those kingdoms were so fully developed, and then we had the Lyra side, where she is a princess in this underwater queendom, but that's not really described at all. And even at the ending, there's an opportunity for Alexandra Christo to kind of like show us what this underwater kingdom was look like, and it kind of was a missed opportunity. Overall, I think the book was very good. I really enjoyed reading it, and I think that's a good sign of any book. And I think despite all of the issues that I had with it, I still really had fun reading it. I think I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars, so I really do enjoy it. I just don't know if it would be something that I would reread, so I was debating on whether or not I should buy the physical copy of the book. This book has made me want to read more of her books, so I will be checking out other books when she has them, when she publishes more, and I'm excited to see if she has the same idea about expanding this world a little bit and talking more about different fairy tales and that are set in different parts of this world in the different kingdoms. So if that's the case, I will probably buy this book and then buy the rest of the series if that's what's gonna happen with this book, because I really did enjoy it, and I think Alexandra Christo has a really great job of doing characters, and I also did appreciate how much diversity the characters had. I really just enjoyed all of the characters. They were just so much fun to read, and I loved all the sarcastic like banter between them. I thought was really interesting. So I was expecting to have at least one of these books where I was like, not really the hype, not worth reading. But honestly, both of these books I think are well worth the hype and definitely worth checking out, and I can see why so many people have enjoyed these books. I honestly would recommend Children of Blood and Bone more so than To Kill a Kingdom, but if you're really into fairy tale retellings, I definitely think To Kill a Kingdom would be up your alley and you would really enjoy it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will probably be doing a couple more of these because it's been really fun, and I'm really happy that my expectations were blown away. I really did not come into either of these books with a ton of expectations. I was gonna just be like, I probably wouldn't say that these books were worth the hype, but they turned out to be, and I'm really excited about that. So let me know if you have read any of these books or if they're on your radar, and let me know why you're interested in reading these books. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye!